Terry Silver, Cobra Kai's most lethal and dangerous sensei easily, and as well as probably the most entertaining villain we've gotten up to this point. Since his introduction, he's always just been such a fun villain whose charisma is on the tier of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. Silver is a madman, but before he was this crazy drug-using maniac, he was once the scared soldier who was partnered up with Kreese. Silver was always shown to be the weaker individual out of him and Kreese, and we even see Kreese take his spot in fighting Captain Turner, leading into Kreese fully embracing no mercy. As Silver is saved, he would owe his life to Kreese as we know, and Kreese would use Silver's money to have a dojo of his own, but never thought of taking Cobra Kai nationwide like he did. Silver may have been weak, but it was always shown that he was the smart one out of the two and always was looking at the bigger picture. Even when Silver's plans didn't go accordingly, he just lived a nice happy life until Kreese knocks on his door asking for assistance, and this leads into him manipulating Daniel and bringing in Mike Barnes. Karate Kid 3 brought Daniel to his lowest, and the main reason for all of it was because of Silver. He would not only teach Daniel a way of fighting that he knew deep down wouldn't work for him, but he always constructed everything with Mike Barnes to make it seem like Silver isn't such a bad guy. He was a legit man-child trying to manipulate children for the fun of it, and in the end, he gets embarrassed by Miyagi and Daniel wins the tournament anyway, leading into Kreese just disappearing. After the events of Karate Kid 3, Terry hit a rock bottom and he eventually went to therapy to better himself, and he realized his actions were insane, and it seemed as if he learned from those mistakes and moved forward. That is, until Kreese then comes in and ruins bro's life yet again. He would initially try to get Terry to join Cobra Kai, but Terry learned his lesson from last time, so he turns him down. And despite Kreese definitely trying to manipulate Terry and keep him under his control, he was right about one thing. Terry without fighting was just a weak, defenseless coward, but with it, he felt like he had some type of control over himself. And this would lead into him heading to Cobra Kai reluctantly and returning to his old ways. He would go on to train Robbie along with helping Kenny reach his full potential, but Kreese knows that he has to keep him under wraps. The moment Terry tries to imply that Kreese has a weakness, Kreese tries to turn him down, but in this moment, he realized that the one person that was really holding him back was Kreese himself. It's sad to see these two best friends go on to butt heads for most of the season, as Kreese always tries to put Terry down a few steps, and understanding Kreese's weakness, Terry would decide to frame him for what he did to Stingray. And if you thought bro was a menace in season 4, season 5 makes you think season 4 Terry is a pretty cool guy. By the end of season 4, Terry has reached an all-time high, being smarter than his Karate Kid 3 self, but also way more deadly. In season 5, we see Daniel trying to shut down Cobra Kai, leading into Terry warning him multiple times before then burning down Mike Barnes' store. He then go on to taunt Daniel at the auction and even breaking him both mentally and physically after he tries to speak with Stingray. He just completely humiliates him even worse than he did back then, and while doing this, he'd build up Cobra Kai's empire with new senseis, would teach Kenny a technique allowing him to defeat the likes of Eli, and was doing his best to bring out Tori's potential. Terry may be the most toxic sensei by far, but the training does seem to pay off, and for someone like Terry who was a coward and used this to gain some type of control over himself, this way of fighting may be the only way out from his perspective. And weirdly enough, this is what Kenny as well went through, so it is fitting to see Terry trying to bring out the Silver within Kenny. Silver may be a menace, but he does have a strong connection with his students, which allows us to see the dynamic between him and said students. And speaking of, the best dynamic we see in season 5 is with Silver and Chosen. Both were seemingly lost, but used karate to shape themselves into a better person in their own eyes. However, the difference between the two is how they both managed to find balance. Chosen found it after being defeated by Daniel, a fighter who Chosen did not show any honor to, yet despite that, Daniel still managed to come out on top and beat him fair and square. After this, Chosen would seek solace through learning the secrets of Miyagi-Do and managing to find what honor really means. As for Silver, his quote-unquote honor is the exact opposite of what Chosen believes honor to be. Silver stops at nothing to do what it takes to win, even if it means pulling the dirtiest tricks in the book, which is the exact philosophy Chosen despises. And they both represent the more aggressive side of said style, with Silver having the most lethal Cobra Kai techniques while Chosen has the most lethal Miyagi-Do ones. And seeing these two butting heads constantly leading into Chosen beating up Silver but losing because he had his back turned is just perfect. I know I throw that word around a lot, but seriously, this has to be my favorite conflict in the whole series, along with this probably being my favorite fight. Unfortunately, this is where Terry peaks, and due to being injured and literally losing his mind, Daniel would go on to defeat him, and sadly would be put in jail. Unfortunately, the last scene we get of Terry is him catching an L, but hey, it happens to the best of us. And in Cobra Kai Season 6, we probably aren't going to be seeing much of him, but it would be cool to get some prison scenes with him. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the most dangerous man in Cobra Kai, and I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. If you guys want more videos like this, let me know down in the comments who you'd like me to analyze next, along with leaving a like, subscribing if you are new to the channel, and hitting the bell icon. Thanks once again for watching, and peace.